Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, all of you. We have come to the fourth day. Host, sir, is it audible for all of you? Is it audible, sir, for all of you? We have come to the fourth day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very happy to reach fourth day of the 5-day FDP sponsored by ACT ATAL Academy on photography, media and communication. starting with Professor Ramji, Vice Chancellor B.R. Ambedkar University, who emphasized on the importance of FDPs to implement new education policy. Followed by him, we had Professor Sujata Mukherjee from English and Foreign Languages University, addressed on how the condition of during pandemic, the teachers who depended on media and communication. Post to Sujata Mukherjee, Krishnavir Abhishek addressed on the importance of emotional language learning, keeping photography as a case. The day one ended with those three presentations. Post to that, day two opened to have Ali Raja, an Iran lecturer, who addressed on how there is a wonderful connectivity between social media and English communication, or for that matter, any other subject teaching. We had Dr. D. Vijayabhaskar, a popular playwright, who addressed on the importance of drama as a means of communication. We have Sirish Nanisetti, an author, photographer, who addressed yesterday on the importance of how to take photos and then how to make use of those photos to be preserved and to be put into a repository, and how to use them in the social media. Well said. Post to Sri Sirish Nanisetti, we had Mr. Kaushik from Orai India Limited, who has addressed on the importance of artificial intelligence, how it is disrupting as a technology for media and communication. Above all, we had yesterday an interesting session on art of living. Sri R. Venkatesh Rao addressed on the importance of yoga, how to make stress managed. And now we have reached to an important session. As we all have understood, this photography, media and communication are one interlinked with various important areas. It is multidimensional sided. As it is multidimensional, there are various people as participants, not only just teaching as background. We had various other members who have joined here from film, from industry, from we also have categories like education, industry, research and development, photography, filmmaking or film studies, mass media, journalism. There are many who have come all the way from various other corners of this nation. So for the satisfaction of them, we had another sided area that we have picked up. It is how media that influences, how communication that happens in terms of judiciary issues too. For that we have today Mr. Srinivas Pulepudi, one of the senior teachers of Visakhapatnam, and his name is popular across the whole globe. He is and he, by profession, he is a lawyer, a practitioner of law, but his avocation is teaching students vocabulary and then making students more successful in getting higher education across global universities. So Srinivas will also be ready. Along with Srinivas, a couple of days ago, a senior journalist from Visakhapatnam as based, Sri Sumit Bhattacharya, also spoke about how media will be useful in classrooms. So this is what happened for the past 4 days. Hope I'm reiterating. Still, it is only a recap. I'm giving you a picture of what exactly this 5-day online FDP is expecting as outcome. Slowly, one after the other, the outcomes are being met. And yesterday, at the end of the 3rd day, as promised, we have given you an assignment, a video assignment. It is open until tomorrow night. I request all of you to make use of that video assignment and check your ability, and then also drop your interesting performance so that it will be shared with AICTE for your e-certificate. Post to this, as per some regulations, we have had AICTE fixed 80% of attendance for all the sessions. 60% of 2 assignments would together give a certificate. You're qualified for that e-certificate. With this, I'll be silent, and I hope after 9:30, I believe this is 9:30 exactly, we take another 5-10 minutes time to see the other participants also join. We understand the participants seriously putting their requests, saying that they are unable to join because of the technical glitches, and then Hyderabad power outage, and then unexpected natural calamities. We understand your difficulty in joining, but we ask you to join as and when that you have time while the session is going on. And with this, I'll be silent, and our coordinator, sir, today acts as a rapporteur for this session. Sri Vinay Kumar Bhaktula will be coming and joining us shortly. He'll be taking up the choice he'll be taking up the floor to take things forward. We'll be happy to have all the recap for the past 4 days. And I'll also see the participants.
Good morning, Hari sir.
Morning, Vinay sir.
Sir, shall we start, sir? Like it's almost all like 9.
Yeah, we can wait for other 3 minutes. I
Sure,
hope
sir.
you can request brother Srinivas.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. And as Srinivas sir is eagerly waiting to join us, sir. It's honor and pleasure to have you over here, Mr. Pulyapudi Srinivas sir.
in the participant side, I have seen many joining us. In the list, we have Divya Bharkavi ma'am, we have our good old friend Dr. Simhachalam Tamrana for the GENS NB, and we have Guru Charan, one of the senior teachers of this Vishakhapatnam, K. Ratnakumari ma'am, Vishakhapatnam, and we also have Padmaja ma'am, we have Sudharani, and we also have various other teachers who are very serious, though they are seniors in teaching as well as multi-sided in their appreciative efforts. Still, they are with us always, sincerely inside of the fold, in expecting the expected outcomes of this FDP come true. Thank you very much for all your patient presence here, sir, early in the morning. And we have Mr. Srinivas ready. Hope our convener, sir, Vinay Kumar, sir, to get ready. Any issues from host side or Srinivas side? Vinay Kumar, sir. No problem. And getting ready. Now we'll have, I'll also take privilege in looking into participants board once again. As there are many senior teachers, there are even students who are requesting me several times to join this session. So I made it open for even students to also just to listen. And this is very interesting. There are good number of students to joining along with LENDI Institute, and I have had requests from Vignan Institute. Their students are asking, Raghu Institute, their students are asking. It is very interesting to see even students coming forward to join these kind of sessions to understand what is happening. And since anyway, this is from the liberal arts, definitely it has got a different kind of dimension. That's why we have picked up various topics from different ideologies. And we have Srinivas like a teacher, though by profession he is a lawyer, an advocate who is practicing seriously, who has got a wonderful knowledge behind the screen. But on surface, he emerges as a teacher. We are all lucky to have a teacher like him who practices both the professions with a great interest. So this is very interesting to see. Everybody from every corner of nation is expecting from this FDP the set outcomes to reach. And parallelly, we have got polls that are coming up with a wonderful analysis. Whatever the source person is expecting, we have the similar kind of what you call thought process is going on with the participants. So it is like it is not really a dramatic moment, but you know it is dramatized like that. As I have been receiving various comments from various appreciations from participants at the end of every session, I really understand that there is a lot of responsibility on the organizers to take it forward. With this, I give the floor to coordinator, sir, Mr. Vinay Kumar, who treats Srinivas as his own guru. And I think coordinator sir takes this activity forward.
Thank you, Hari sir. Good morning, everyone. This is Vinay Kumar Bhaktula, Assistant Professor of English from LENDI Institute of Engineering and Technology and Autonomous. Today is a very auspicious day for me to be a repertoire for my guru, my mentor, along with my godfather, Dr. Haribabu Tamineni. In fact, it gives me a very immense pleasure to introduce about Mr. Shriman Pulyapudi Srinivas Garu. In short, we share a same background because I'm also a student of St. Aloysius. So in fact, you know, the school always make a difference. In fact, the background, the seed of education started me from there. If I want him to tell about him. In fact, it take a big list, but I cut short because we don't have time. So I say, in fact, I introduce him like this: a phenomenon who strives to achieve a good lawyer, an exceptional trainer for abroad studies like GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, SAT, and CLAT, a voracious book reader, versatile, profound, dexterous, loves to take things in his stride, a bastion, an affable personality, never-ending source of information, separates himself from the oi polloi, never pedestrian in his approach or talk. He's a galvanic and raspotic. And with this, I say Michael Cole found Dawn. Thank you very much, sir. And it's over to you, sir, Mr. Srinivas, sir.
Okay, very good morning, everybody. Dear friends and all the learned people on the virtual platform. It is indeed a great honor addressing all of you all to be amongst us all on this virtual platform. And I'm here to tell you about the reasonableness of restrictions on reporting on matters sub judice. Okay, I repeat, reasonableness of restrictions on reporting on matters sub judice. Now, sub judice is still under the judge. It is yet to be finalized, or he has to come to an opinion only after it's an audi altrum partum. Audi altrum partum means after he hears the other side. And here I want to first lay emphasis on 3 points: to protect and promote the interests of legal profession, to have regard to the philosophy of jurisprudence, encourage research and development, and apply the knowledge and experience in the field of law for promotion of public good. And I also take this opportunity to congratulate, as I call Dr. Thammineni, my elder brother, and Spurgeon, Paul Spurgeon, Dr. V.V. Rama Reddy Garu, the principal of LENDI, and above all, yes, I definitely say Vinay, Don found Michael, a very hardworking young boy. I've seen him grow under the able guidance and tutelage of Dr. Thammineni, who has really molded this young boy in all possible manner. And he's now one of the pillars of the Department of English in LENDI. However, without much ado, I want to go into the main purpose of the talk, that is matters sub judice and how press is now interfering to these and the reasonableness behind it. So first and foremost, I want to tell you all is, we have to realize that journalism is like a mirror. Okay, journalism is like a mirror. Our viewers look in this mirror and they're supposed to see the world as it is. And I'm asking a question, do they, don't they? As of me, because I've been closely following the media, the press, and the other things, and my dad being a very senior journalist, the first thing, any press club you sit and you talk to senior journalists, they're telling us that they are seeing a mirror. Definitely, yes, journalism is like a mirror of what's happening in the society. But unfortunately, the mirror is now fogged. The weather out is also rainy, and winter is on the anvil. At the same time, journalism was also fogging the actual reality of what's happening. Well, you can say the TRP, or as they say in media law, give the people what they want, or as philosophically we say, before the lie has traveled half the world, truth is still putting on its shoes. Okay, so all said and done, it's always the negative side of life that people, try to connect, and I try to correct that mistake in a teeny tiny little bit. I repeat, there's no news like bad news. So people get attracted to the negative side of life. And I am here trying to correct the connect with which people are with regards to the negative side of the news. And that becomes a moot point in every coffee shop discussion or canteen discussion or library discussion or friends on virtual media and WhatsApp. There are many messages that are being sent, and it's like, it's like a cascade, a never-ending cascade. And unfortunately, it is tearing apart into the private lives of many people. And one of the biggest culprit, I would say, is a cell phone with a camera. It's entering not only the private lives of celebrities, but also a commoner. More so, many people. Well, I'll dwell on that point also, how cell phones are becoming a kind of problematic issue nowadays in journalism, and how many of the kids are deciding many of the matters that are sub judice, which is in fact beyond their scope of understanding, because only on the periphery they're talking common law, but there should be a precedent supporting it. That's what I say always. However, what I try to do as a lawyer and as a trainer, whenever I meet people in the journalism, in the faculty or in the press clubs, is I give a more long-term perspective. Now, what I mean by long-term perspective is, what I see on TV all the time is a lot of noise, or I can say a brouhaha, breaking news. Is it really breaking news? Well, if you ask me, I would say it ain't breaking news. However, but people are more interested to know that a celebrity's house is inundated in Hyderabad. That's a breaking news. Or a celebrity committed suicide, or a cricketer got married, or a cricketer's wife is expecting their baby. So these have become many other issues. But there are also areas where the issue is still in the court of law, and everybody nowadays is discussing and discussed, and it's beaten to death. I would take two cases here. One is the Sushant Singh Rajput. Is he murdered? Did he commit suicide? Or was it planned? Was Riya Chakraborty behind it? There are many ifs and buts, okay? And there's on the other side, the Hathras, rape, murder, and the burning of the girl, the corpse of the girl at midnight by the police, and almost the road towards Noida has become a fortress. It's like, sealed off from for the public. So they have discussed Sushant Singh Rajput till death. That's beaten to death story now. Everybody talks about Sushant Singh Rajput, how the drugs have been involved, how many celebrities are involved in drugs and all this. But this matter is still sub judice. We need to understand. So this is the second one I'll come into. The first one I told you, cell phones with cameras, how they're entering the private lives, how it is also being used as part of the evidence for certain sub judice matters. The second one is this, the celebrity murder or suicide. And the third one is the Hathras. However, I am an eternal optimist. I definitely believe in optimism, and I look only at the facts. Okay, so it has to be factual. You can't take per se or hearsay or I got it from a source. No, you need to give the source. From where did you get it? Okay, so I like to focus on the silent revolutions that are extremely important in the long term. Now, what are they? Okay, the silent revolutions that are happening is, think about the extreme poverty that was there. But now we've really accomplished, but this is not being covered. Okay, more than 100,000 people came out of extreme poverty every day, out of extreme poverty, okay? Think about child mortality. Infant deaths have halved since 1990. Think about average life expectancy in 60s, it was 52. And now, with improved medical, it is 72. Even this is a point of discussion for people. Think about average health in the world. That has improved tremendously and people don't know it. They really don't know it. What is UNICEF is doing? What is UNESCO doing? What is WHO doing? or how the organs of the UNO are functioning, what are the kind of things that they're doing to India and third world countries, and also the banana republics that are there, that are predominantly based on agriculture. And sometimes I compare the journalism all around the world. You know, if you have followed Donald Trump, and a person or a representative or a journalist on CNN comes, okay, cable news network, he at once says get out, because he knows CNN doesn't talk the Republican mouth. It speaks a different language of the Democrats, and he tells them, you're not invited to the White House, why don't you go? And very rudely, very curtly, he says that. The same during the swearing in of our honorable chief minister, he has asked a renowned Telugu news channel journalist, we didn't invite you, but any of you came, so have breakfast and go, okay? Our now chief minister. So if they are discussing matters of sub judice of the person in power when he was not in power, and he comes to power, he'll say, please leave the hall, I didn't invite you. So they are gagging certain information from coming into public domain because it's being discussed, and that is a matter of sub judice. Okay, then I would also like to compare nowadays journalism, like you're raising a child, because we raise the child in the way that brings out the positive insights, okay, and things that do well. So imagine, we as parents, many of us are, on the late 40s, I guess, all the senior faculty who are on the panel listening to me on the virtual platform. We raise children in a way that brings out the positive insights in them. Imagine us as parents, we are always saying to children that they're doing is wrong. This is not the way you have to do. This is the way you have to do. If that's the only message we have for our children, they're going to end up miserable people and negative people, probably angry people. 3 words I'm using: miserable, negative, and angry. Because as they say, many of my team English in LENDI would agree, the old order changeth, giving place to the new. The new water always pushes the old water, but the old water wants to cling on, but if it clings on, it becomes murky, and it becomes a breeding ground for mosquitoes. No wonder a lotus will also grow in it, but one odd case. See, exceptions are always there in everything, but we have to give way for the youngsters to come. So let's not tell them what they're doing is wrong. If we say that what they're doing is wrong, then innovation stops. Then looking at new things stops. But we need to tell them that there are certain things that they need to not talk about, like matters that are sub judice, because that is not their domain, because they will talk only periphery and what they hear in the class or what they discuss in the school bus or in the auto or in the, rickshaws that they go or in their peer group. However, as faculty, we have to tell them, like, why don't you go through this? Why don't you go through that? Let's have a healthy reasoning. We are all reasonable men. Let's not argue, because as O. Henry says, on arguing, you don't do anything. You go with your set of principles, I go with my set of principles. But if you reason, well, the art of persuasion comes. And I would tell everybody on this platform, watch a movie called 12 Angry Men. In that he will say, the art of reasoning is to win the trust. So when you're discussing a matter of sub judice, it is to win the trust of the person. Okay, and we are not the authority. We are not the law, or we are not one of the eye of the law. We are not the judge, or we are not the judge, or we are not the lawyer, or we are not the solicitor. We are not the prosecutor, or we are not engaged by the client to talk for us. Okay, so we just talk because we need something to talk on. Like we talk on social issues, political issues, economic, legal, technical, every issue under the clear blue sky. But my point is, whenever you're talking matters of sub judice, know the point of law, know what the law says, know the Bare Act, know the precedent law, know many things. That's why yesterday I sent you a write-up about what I wanted to speak and how the precedents have improved and what Jai Singh has said. That is a one-page write-up, but so that you'll have an idea as to what I'm going to talk. But coming back to us raising children, let us see that they are not miserable anymore. Let us say that they don't have negative thoughts and probably angry. because these things will lead them to talking unnecessary things and sometimes, lead them into trouble. But this is exactly the way we are treating, whatever a journalist says also. We are telling them, no, this journalist, this paper is a mouthpiece of so-and-so party. That paper is a mouthpiece of so-and-so party. This is the one. If only you feel like, no, all the newspapers are mouthpieces of certain parties, why don't you write a blog? Yeah, why don't you write a blog? The English department of LENDI has started a blog where all the kids are putting up their own ideas and ideations, and the team English, they're doing a fantastic job. And Dr. Thamineni has deputed Vinay and his team to take care of this, and they're doing a fantastic job. So, of course, there should be an overseer. Dr. Thamineni plays that part apart from being the vice principal. However, the main point that I'm telling you is we are treating journalists also like he's wrong. No, that fellow is wrong. This man is wrong. That, he's a paid one. He's on retainer. He has to write for these people only. No, it's not like that. Okay, because we say in this world, that this is horrible, that is horrible. There's nothing that is, why are you thinking about only the horrible things? There are many good things. Okay, maybe tomorrow will be even worse. We don't know. One day of 32 centimeters rain has made Hyderabad into a virtual, Venice. Some of the areas in Hyderabad have become like Venice. So did they foresee? No, that's vis major, the act of law. And suddenly the opposition might come and say, well, this is because of lack of planning of KTR, the municipal minister. This is because of that. Well, the opposition will cry foul. Or in our state only, there is, there are leaders who are saying that the ruling party has not managed the water properly. Hence, there's a lot of logging and this and that. Did we ever anticipate this kind of rainfall? No. So constructively, we have to go into, than filing a case saying like, this is because of that, that is because of this, and the water has caused this. Yes, definitely, there is huge property loss, but fewer human loss. The whole point of the administration is to see that there is fewer human loss. Well, if they get caught and well, if it's beyond their act, there are a few lives that are lost, but not human loss at, running into some thousands and thousands. So let's not talk bad about, the management systems. If you have any issue, why don't you put it on a blog? Well, there are people who would who definitely, extend the conversation of your blog. Each kid who's on this virtual platform now will have a minimum of 100 to 150 in their friend list in their cell phone, and at least 200 on their Facebook. Yeah, write a a statement. Writing, today my post. You put it on your Facebook. Let's see how many will respond to it. Not to your picture. A write-up of yours should be a commenting point or a chatting point, or it should go on. Send letters to the editor. This is my view about this. I'm sending it from LENDI or from whichever college, you're listening to me now. Clear? Don't say, it is horrible. Tomorrow may be even worse. Okay? And if you are really wanting to talk about matters sub judice, yeah, but on a peripheral way, you can talk about the problems of the refugees, the Rohingyas that are there, the immigrant problem that we have, the crime that is there. Okay? And the consequences, I would say, of this negative attitude is that people look at the world in a very negative way. Okay? Very often it plays into the fear of the people. If you watch television now, there are many people who are saying like Hyderabad is almost inundated. And there are some who are marking themselves like I am safe from the floods of Hyderabad. So on one side, we see that Hyderabad is inundated or flooded. And the other side, there are people who are marking themselves, I am safe, my area is safe, there's nothing that happens. So there is the other side of the coin also than what is being shown on the electronic media. Okay, very often people want to play with the fears. So it is not just journalism that is negative. Sometimes maybe our thought process also might be in that way because they are ingraining it into us and we are ingrained to think sometimes on the negative way. And the next one I want to say is the huge consequences of matters sub judice being spoken by people on the society and for political choices also. Well, If there is a person who is elected as a leader, we say he's not a good leader. But why did we elect him? We gave him 5 years mandate. Let him do what he wants to. You don't like him, change him. Or if you don't like him, there are local elections, change that government and give the local government or some other government a better opportunity to lead us better. Clear? The basic difference I have with a lot of my friends and colleagues is that they tend to amplify the bad stuff. They always tend to amplify the bad stuff in this world. I would always go for the opposite. Okay? Amplify the good. Amplify always the good without forgetting the bad. There's some huge issues, of course, and challenges. Think about climate crisis. Think about inequality in the society. But at the same time, okay, the progress in many fields is unprecedented when it comes to education. When it comes to education. Did we think that this new normal would be so well accepted? In the months of June, when schools reopened, many teachers didn't know how to
Srinivas, I request you to unmute yourself once.
Thank you.
As there is a
Yes.
disturbance, I have muted everyone. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
You
thank you, Doctor.
Just,
yeah. So the problem I'm again telling you is we have made advances in many things, unprecedented. There are things that we can talk. There are many good that's happening. Well, we can talk about, and if you really want to take up a course and a line of reasoning and take it as a challenge, talk about matters that are like, climate crisis, that are in every court you have. You have the National Green Tribunal talking about it. You have many other things talking about it. You talk about climate crisis. You talk about immigration, okay? People immigrating. Or you talk about inequality that's existing in the society. There are cases being filed. But at the same time, the progress in many fields is also unprecedented. But people don't want those kind of news. They just want, some bite where they can talk in a coffee shop. When it comes to education also, I'm saying again, when it comes to education, it's the basic human right. Okay, now many schools, by the time the kid is coming to 8th standard only, they have classes on sexual orientation for women, parents, for children, and many people are not realizing this. The reason why is the new normal, that is teaching on the virtual platform in June, was something unheard of. How are we going to do? But now the faculty formative assessments, summative assessments, seminars, or semester end exams, or the 3-1, 4-1, end semester exams, everything are being conducted online and results are being sent. And well, there is one problem that you can talk. There are certain people who can't afford a laptop. There are some who can't afford a net web connection. So they are being provided by the village heads in that area. That's a good sign, because Digital India is for making the new normal. That is the virtual platform. So let us steer ourselves from the negative focus that we have and steer towards more positive, more constructive way of looking at things. I think personally, journalism could make a better world. Okay, and virtual media definitely, because you can see the picture and it's a recall value. You will sometimes discuss on the way the person has approached, or the way the person is talking, or the way the person is, creating a kind of hype to that issue, everything. The problem is not in journalism. The problem is in the journalist. Don't consider it as the basic task to make the world better. The journalist thinks like he can make it a better world. From his perspective, he must be right. But is it what the general think? It's only his qualified statement. Okay, when you follow the Gestalt school of psychology, they say all balls are white. But if one ball is black, okay, the general statement of all balls are white becomes one qualified statement that one is black. So if one is black, are the remaining all white also black? No. But the power, as they say, because this is a seminar being held by the Department of English, LENDI, as they say, one rotten apple can spoil the whole basket. That is the power of a rotten apple. Understood? The good apples cannot fight one rotten apple. It will rot the whole basket. So one journalist who's thinking like, he can make a difference. I don't know what kind of difference he's making. And he feels he's intrepid. And he thinks that's intrepid journalism by exposing unnecessary things. And to an extent where the details of many people is being discussed, which is, I guess, unsavory and is not palatable to many. However, that gets them the TRP. You understood? So everything is a fight for the TRP. So I would say people should realize that being pessimistic about the world is a choice. Okay, you can't be pessimistic because as it is, approved or increased medical facilities can give you a time till, healthy time till 80. Post 80, it's a blessing. Okay, because erstwhile it was 56, now it is 72 years with good healthy habits. People are crossing the 80 mark also in the number of years that they're living. So let's not be pessimistic about the world because this is a choice. We have to make that, let's live in a happier, optimistic world. But at the same time, case in point is optimism is also a choice as well. It gives more energy. And eventually, with the kind of energy, we can make a better world for ourselves, for our children and our grandchildren. Okay. But coming back to the three things that I told you. Okay. The first one I told you is the cell phones with cameras, intruding into the privacy of many people. Well, they also made a movie called Drishyam, I guess, if I'm not wrong, that went on to show how a girl has been traumatized, and it's cinematic, but till the place where the girl is traumatized by that, well-to-do young boy is a case in point. Many people, are into this kind of, adventures or escapade, as I would say, thinking that it would make them macho. No, it won't. It won't make you macho. So let's not use our cell phones with cameras, mainly cameras of the cell phones, for all these kind of things. Let's pick up photography as a hobby. There is Czechoslovakian photo exhibition. There is Indian photo exhibition. There is Archaeological Survey of India wants its photographs to come out, and there is a new wave on the virtual platform saying India is not only about Taj Mahal. Okay, and for your information, on the tourist map of UP is Taj Mahal is no longer there because Yogi Adityanath feels there are better things than Taj in India. So see, that can be a moot point. You can talk on that, and maybe you can send your own write up to it to the Peshi or to the Undersecretary of Chief Secretary of the Chief Minister's Office of UP, saying, sir, we have conducted a virtual platform like this, and from the platform, okay, from the podium and the pulpit, as you say, from the podium and the pulpit, it has to go to the press, and the press will take it to the CM's Peshi or CM's office. Let's be a little constructive in these kind of things. And the second one, the Hathras case, I would say, we all know there's a young girl who belonged to one kind of, maybe not so well-to-do, economical background and a community. 4 boys belonging to one community have physically assaulted her and cut off her tongue, broke her backbone, physically, broke all her limbs, everything. And they just left her to her fate, and she died. Now, once she died, the case has taken a political angle. So there are parties who want to take political mileage. There is the ruling party that wanted to hush up the case. And a very vociferous news channel, lead man, as you say, lead man, who's known for his yelling and shouting and many other things, has suddenly been hushed. He has been gagged. Please don't talk on this issue. Finished. It's like hushed. And midnight, they brought the girl's body, and local chief police have done all the obsequies, the funeral rites of that girl, and it's hushed. Now the Supreme Court wants to take up the case and review it, and it will take its own course. But there are people who are discussing this case, the Hathras, rape. and the opposition in the center wants to take mileage over this. The brother and sister are now making a big hue and cry about this Hathras. And now for the other case, which everybody's talking of, the young actor Sushant Singh Rajput, whether he's committed suicide, whether or not he's hanged, or he's been assassinated, the drug deals, how he's gotten into drugs, and how Riya Chakraborty is involved, or how the Thakres are involved, or how Aditya Thakre's future is done regarding his involvement with Riya Chakraborty. These are matters that the court, the Maharashtra High Court, will decide on the Maharashtra municipal administration and Brihan Mumbai municipal administration. They will come over, they will take, and as if Kangana Ranaut's house only was the ultimate building violation, in 48 hours, in war footing, they have brought all the proclaimers, everything, approvals, and demolished. And now the court is saying, the municipal corporation municipal corporation Mumbai has to pay her X amount of money as compensation. And the person who's carried out, Mr. Late, it's not Mr. Late, L-A-T-E, he's a Maharashtrian, so they pronounce it as Late. Mr. Late is under suspension, and he's being asked to give an explanation as to why he has gone in for, bringing down the whole house that early and that quick. So these are the kind of things that people are interested to talk about. But are we really qualified to talk about, matters that are sub judice? Well, you do have freedom for, what did I say is Article 19. Article 19 definitely of the Constitution, I'm telling. Now I'm taking over from the Constitution. It definitely tells you that you have right to freedom of speech. But just because you have the freedom of speech, you can't talk, certain things that are pending in a court, that are pending for disposal. Okay, the Press Council of India over the years has given guidelines in various matters and to the print media in this country. Pardon? To abide how the journalism has to report. They have formulated that how it has to go. Okay, they formulated the council, presumably because it was expected by the parliament that there must be mandated certain ethics. However, the Press Council of India is viewing to amend the act still for giving more powers to the Press Council. See, as soon as it becomes something, a moot point in the parliament, it's the latest topic that the kids also are interested in discussing in the class. Well, maybe we can spare 15 minutes or 20 minutes, but that need not be everything. I would not say that everybody would have the luxury like how LENDI has a different separate department for English and a discussion room and ideation room where all the first years are introduced into the language lab, and they have a Beck certification course and many other things. That's a commendable job being done by Dr. Thamanini and his team. But all said and done, when they get into these kind of things, they will know that there is something called as press, and it reports in not only in English. There are all the languages that are used to write about an issue. If yesterday Chris Gale scored 50 by scoring 5 sixes and 1 4, it is written in every language. But all kids prefer to talk about it only, or read about it in the English leading newspapers. Or if they have access to some Telugu newspaper, they will read. But definitely, yes, the flavor, as they say, in reading an English newspaper is a little high, and people think like, they can take it over. No, let us not think like that. Read it in your native tongue also, I don't mind. But even that is a matter of sub judice in Andhra, to introduce English medium education in schools. And there are people who file a bill saying, no, English medium schools need not be there. The schools that are there are very good enough. But the view of our chief minister is like, English must be made one of the languages, not the medium of education, but a language for people to learn. So even that, you have a bill being filed. Okay. So all in all, what I want to tell is, you should give more teeth. More teeth must be given to the adjudicatory function, and it might very effectively regulate the print media. Okay, once the print media is being appropriately put into their role, I guess the visual media also will follow, because what we see a day before, the day later we read about it in detail. But news today is, as it happens, the next second it's on social media. So people are no longer into the feel of the newspaper and reading about it. So I would say that, there should be certain regulations when it comes to the virtual platform or the electronic. The functioning of both electronic and the print media, okay, of the country must be in the hands of certain expert body for identifying the areas that are needed to be addressed, and for evolving proper measures and mechanism to regulate media in this country. Okay, if you permit me, I would say, the constitutional, statutory, and other restrictions or mandates of media ethics need to be obeyed, because such restrictions are not unreasonable but are founded on good public policy. But the vital pillars of democracy are the natural allies. The natural allies are the complements that we give towards the goal. And what's the goal? A successful democracy. When will we have a successful democracy? When the administration of justice is to see that it has given a fair trial to every accused. I'm not demeaning the judicial system of this country. It will be extremely unfortunate if judiciary, which has stood for liberty of speech and expression, and that what they are doing is being questioned by the media. I guess, judiciary should not lose its credibility just because media is questioning. Okay? Judiciary has to do its work. Media must respect on account of its, irresponsibility or responsibility. If they're irresponsible, the media has to be taken into account. If they're responsible, well and good. But if the matter is sub judice, I personally feel, and I tell everybody on this virtual platform, let's not talk about that matter. If you know any facts, put it on your college blog. Well, this is what the college feels. Then you can't say, this is the personal opinion of that student. No, this is the opinion of the college, because you have opened the blog and it is on your college blog. So own it up, and let's see how things unfold. Because many colleges nowadays are creating this kind of a platform where the kids are coming out with their inherent talents, inherent ideas. Like BITS Pilani offers their 5th-year course in economics or history or, public administration or law. So 5th year is what they do in BITS Pilani, apart from 4-year engineering, so that they are introduced to certain humanity subjects also. However, my whole point is, I would say to the reporter, mind what you are reporting. Just mind it, because media should have some basic knowledge about functioning of law codes. They must have some knowledge how a law code functions, because anything erroneous if they print or if they talk about and they report, then I guess there is want of certain basic knowledge that the reporter has to take into account. There's definitely a want of basic knowledge how a code functions. Just because he's got the info, he can't just put it on, virtual media and make a very good speaker of English, report it from our news desk, from our news reporter, from our this and that. That makes for, unnecessary noise. Okay, they should take extreme care. Media should take extreme care in ensuring that there is no distortion of facts, because you can't add on to the facts that are there. Just because of your TRP, if you want to add on to the facts, it becomes a mockery of the judicial system, and you can't distort the facts. There should be an order. Okay, and if there is a pending proceeding, I tell again, pending proceeding is nothing but a sub judice matter under the judge. If there is a pending proceeding, don't go for unfair reporting. Okay, at the same time, don't go for fair reporting. Report what the judge has given, the judgment. And you don't give conclusions saying, well, they can go on an appeal on this to a higher court. Well, this is how it has to be given. Well, this is not the way it has to be given. The judicial system is run by very eminent jurists, and the judges are very, very intelligent people. They are ably supported by very learned lawyers who have taken into account many things, and only then an order is passed. So I would tell, make yourself available, okay? Report proper. Occasionally, well, if there is a clash between judiciary and media, it's only natural. But it will be a sad day if mutual respect between the two is lost or even eroded. Okay, the mutual respect should not be eroded. Okay, it's heartening that, you know, LENDI Engineering College has taken this initiative, and they asked me to speak on this. This workshop, I guess, was informative to you all. Okay, so I'm involving many opinions of judges, lawyers, jurists, and media persons, so that, you know, the issues that we are talking will not cause disharmony between the two vital organs, and it should be properly identified and addressed in order to eliminate areas of conflict. Because in the functioning of media vis-a-vis the court, the topic selected for today, the law lecture, or, you know, the seminar, the symposium lecture, is only points out the genuine concern of me as a member of the legal fraternity, and many of the Department of English, LENDI Engineering College, who all know about media. And Dr. Thammineni has done his PhD on a very renowned personality who is part of the theater. So I guess he also knows, and is guiding Vinay into, you know, molding himself to blossom as a very good, fragrant flower of LENDI, and the other English team also. They have varied interests, but my sincere request to LENDI College is, through this platform, put it all to the other college heads also, that, you know, if you take the legal fraternity as the epitome of, you know, functioning of the legal system in India, the priests to this temple of judiciary are the judges, and the chief priest is the CJI, and the Sanctum Sanctorum is the main hall of the Supreme Court of India, that's seated in Delhi. Okay, so they should ensure proper equation between the judiciary and media. The equation has to be proper. I say again, proper, just not the word proper, really proper, prim and proper. You can't be gross, you can't be unrefined. Okay, you have to be really maintaining the stability of the judiciary. Okay, I sincerely thank the organizers of today's lecture. You gave me a wonderful opportunity to share my views. I open the floor. If there are questions, I'll definitely answer. Please feel free, because I wanted to have a platform of 40-45 minutes, so that in detail I can explain many of the cases. I've come with a lot of case laws, and like yesterday I put up a write-up. Not that case law only, there are many other decided case laws that will give you inputs, and I'll tell you what are the platforms you can go in and read and know about matters sub judice. The floor is open.
Yeah, the first question that is by Mr. Vinay Kumar, convener, sir. Come on, sir.
Good morning, Harish sir. Thank you very much, our Pulyapudi Sriman Garu. The question what I want to ask is, you know, as we have stated that subsidies cases should not be discussed, then how can we find a justice if at all we don't discuss? You know, and is it mean that we should not discuss in the parliament as well? If at all we don't discuss, how a common person or a common man like me can get a justice? Assume that a person like a celebrity like a Sushant Singh Rajput, who was a very good, profound actor in his style and his action, being a very strong background because his father was a government officer, his father was a retired Conferred IAS officer. Being born in a very strong background, if a personality like him cannot found a justice, even though we have this much of hullabaloo, then what about a state of mind? Assume if I found something problem with my, no, like this case. So shall the people should not discuss about my case? So how do you would like to put this as a matter of sub judice, sir? This is what my question, Srinivas, sir.
Oh, good. Thank you, Vinay. When the matter is sub judice, there are three arms of the government. One is the legislature that formulates the law, the judiciary, and the executive. One approves and the other sees that it is being implemented. So as you asked me, there's a lot of hullabaloo happening about Sushant Singh Rajput's case because he's got very good antecedents. His father is a very good renowned government officer, etc., etc. Everybody, after implementation, you can tell the teething problem. So this is an area of issue. Don't make it like problem. Tell it's an area of improvement or this is an issue that should be looked into. Let us not be negative in our words also. There is something called as euphemism. Instead of telling a person is fat, you can say looks healthy. So let's use subtle words than harsh words. Sir, the decision taken by the upper management is fantastic. In implementation, we have come across these kind of issues. How would you, address this or how would you answer this? So this is the problem, sir. The kids are doing like this. No, let's not amplify it and make it into a breaking news kind of thing in the college. Definitely not. The kids definitely would say, what is this rule? Why are they doing all this? Is it beneficial? Yes, young man, it is beneficial. It is for your future. We're doing all this. He will not realize it now. He will realize when he comes to the 3-1 or 3-2 when the campus comes to the school. And once the campus comes to the school, then he will know, oh, that issue that I spoke about that day, the decision taken by the management was not my purview. I should not have spoken about that issue. Okay, should not speak about certain issues because management takes any issue or any decision for the betterment of the student. And that's how I've seen LENDI college from affiliated college to an ACT approved college to an autonomous college, God willing, an independent university. Though, 134 universities have been, struck off by Javdekar. But if you follow all the proper guidelines and show them the necessary, guidelines, I guess, LENDI can also become a good university or on par, an institute of excellence, as they say, KRIA. I was addressing KRIA students the other day in Sri City. It is IOE, that one, and there is GEO, and there is Institute of Planning and Manrega. There are many other institutes that have got Institute of Excellence, IOEs. Maybe LENDI can apply. But when you apply for certain kind of things, you have to follow the guidelines. You can't say, this is not wrong. So discussing Sushant Singh Rajput's issue in the parliament is definitely ultra vires. There's a word called ultra vires in law, beyond the scope of the person. So the parliamentarians can only frame law, but implementation and the teething problems of the law is to be taken care of by the judges. That's why you have single bench decision, you have a 2-bench decision, you have a 3 judges decision, and you have the full bench. Okay, constitutional bench is also there. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. That's the hierarchy of appeals in Supreme Court. So the article jurisdiction also must be taken. Single bench decision definitely will be vetoed by 2, 2 will be vetoed by 3, 3 will be vetoed by 5, 5 goes to 7, and once 7 decides, I guess that's it. But there is still a case, where the 11 judges have, sat and took a decision. That's one of the best landmark decisions that have come into picture with regards to freedom. Article 19, Kesavananda Bharati case, which many of the technically qualified doctorates here must know. Every law student will read about that case, and there he says that in the parliament you should not discuss matters subject peace. It's a landmark decision, Kesavananda Bharati versus Union of India, and this man expired recently. Very recently expired. He's supposed to be he's not a lawyer. Like Subramanian Swamy is not a lawyer, but he'll file cases because he reads the law very good. And because of Subramanian Swamy, many lawyers are in job, or they make their kitchen fire is burning. Clear? So he will question the framework of the law. That's beauty, but he'll not discuss the matter sub judice. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Any other?
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. We have one more question from Mr. Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed,
Yeah.
and I quote, esteemed sir, the sanctum of the justice seems to be beyond the reach of a common person, as
Yes.
even after hiring advocates by staking huge money, the cases are left for hearing for few minutes, and judges do not have an ample of time to hear each case with utmost zeal unless it comes after media trial. Do you think contradiction for paying heed to a case that comes after media trial and the case that was put in a court by a common man after investing huge money to hire a lawyer?
Wonderful, Dr. Ahmed. I guess you asked a very valid point and very profound in your question. I guess I should muster all my range of knowledge to answer this question. The first thing that you said is Supreme Courts are definitely beyond the reach of a common man. Yes, I would agree with that. And the second one, that every senior lawyer and judges also who have retired and written books, if you are an avid book reader, Dr. Ahmed, I would tell you to read a book called Before Memory Fades by Fali Nariman. Okay, in that he says, why he has supported Warren Anderson in 1984, the Bhopal gas tragedy, because only for money, even though Nani Palkewala said, don't take up this case because it's against India. And the third one that you said is, for the poor man, the language of the law is only of the rich. Let me tell you, the language of the law is the rich man's language, because the best legal brains are hired by the persons who can afford them, because by the minute we charge, not by the hour or so. And there are certain lawyers who take per day appearance fees of 4 crores also. And if the judge is not sitting on the bench, he still has to cough up the 4 crores. That I guess I answered your case. 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Forget 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Even if the judge is not there, suddenly the judge's mother or somebody dies and he is unable to attend to the court, the client still has to cough up the 4 crores to the lawyer he has engaged. And for the common man, it is very, very difficult. If you hear a case for 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, and when it will be decided, like the famous quote says, justice delayed is justice denied. Okay, in India, there's a lot of delay in justice and implementing of justice. But I guess you would have heard the statistics. Without any new cases coming in, and with the number of judges and the courts that we have to decide the matters pending, it would take a minimum of 1,000+ years. I guess we should live 10 lives to see all the cases being decided, Dr. Ahmed. And the next point is, only after media is discussing, the matter is gaining importance on a national platform. I would not totally rule out. There are 1-2 cases where the media has stood very strong. The media has stood very strong, and it has so-and-so has won. That becomes sensation. And only if media takes up, will the judges act on it? Definitely no. No, I would say enormous no on that. 1 minute and 1.5 minutes, is it sufficient for the lawyer to address the case? We can take, there is something called as, we would want it to be a temporization. We want the judge to go in for delay in taking the decision. We will have our own ways of procrastination. We would have our own ways of asking for an adjournment. And if the matter is decided early, I would say, like, in a layman's term, he's not a good lawyer. Okay, it should run for at least 2-3 years in a court of law. Then they would appreciate, this guy's got some stuff in him. He could make the case run for 2-3 years. Because visiting the court also is part of social, I have arrived. I have income tax raids on my house. I have a case against me pending in the court. I am a tax defaulter. I have a challan that I have gone for wrong parking. I was caught under influence driving my car after a night party. All these are part of your social resume now, unfortunately. These are not discussed. These are definitely not discussed on platforms. Yeah, Dr. Ahmed?
Yeah, sir. We also have one more question from very good old friend of yours, Mr. Guru Charan Vyamganti, who is also
Okay.
an associate professor of English from Baba College, sir. And his
Okay.
question is like that, I quote, if the matter is sub judice and it is wrong to discuss it in the media or parliament, then why it is not legal action taken against these media houses or parliamentarians or politicians?
Ah, good. Dr. Vemuganti, I guess you are also a doctor. That's a very nice question. When they are reporting something that's wrong in the press, and they are not being taken to task, or no legal cases are being filed, they come under the so-called cover saying, well, you know, this part of the news is a disclaimer. Have you heard any time Rackett and Coleman will say this is not our view, or the media houses say this is the view of the presenter? The presenter can be taken into task, but not the media house per se. There are many issues where the media houses have reported, you know, cases that are absurd and preposterous and, you know, totally wrong. But there was no case filed against them. They were only reprimanded, and they were told, please don't do these kind of things. Like when Subramanya Swamy filed a case with regards to the, you know, against the Gandhis, the whole of the press then, because it was controlled by the Congress government, spoke as if, you know, Mr. Subramanya Swamy is an anti-national. But when Barkada took a sat phone with her to, you know, 1999 Operation Vijay, to the hills of Kargil, and she made all our army soldiers and the entire armed forces sitting ducks because they knew where Barkadat was because of her sat phone. Did they arrest her? No, she was conferred Padma Shri for live coverage of a war. So, Dr. Vemuganti, your question is very, very valid. If I am, you know, fighting for a person who has come to me saying, sir, because of this, we have a loss, because of the reporting of the press, we have a loss, I would definitely see that locus standi. The locus standi is not there, and it becomes a pill. But no, you know, pill, you know. If you take it as a pill, then people will appreciate, and you can go up to the Supreme Court and fight. But who are we fighting? We are fighting the powerful media houses run by certain politicians, because their slush money is inside these press houses. And would you think they would formulate a law against their own money and their own press or their own media? Well, debatable, but definitely yes, we can file a case saying there was wrong reporting, and you know, there was humongous loss, or there is clear and evident danger to the living of every person. But press being called into question are not many. Their shady dealings are going, you know, without punishment. That part I would agree. Their shady dealings, because they want to ruin the career of one person. They would ruin the person's career by you know, tarnishing him, by smearing him, by making him look like as if he's a Naxalite, or maybe he's anti-national, terrorist. Whatever they want, they'll use words. But at the end of the day, can we punish them? Well, we have to discuss on this. Definitely, this can be a very good moot point for all the law schools. I'll definitely take it forward, and I'll take a print of the question that you asked me. But I would say, Dr. Vemuganti, that punishment has to be apt for wrong reporting. If you just type in after our lecture and my seminar is over, I would send you that excerpt of that video where Rajiv Sardesai said, His Excellency, the President of India is no more. When still he was on life support in the military hospital in Delhi, he killed or he's announced on national press saying His Excellency, the former president died. Don't you think he has to be accounted for that wrong reporting? He said, I followed social media. So where the wrong lies? Is it in the reporting, or is it in the press, or is it in the media house? How did the media house approve? They approved because they think Rajiv Sardar says reporting is premium. You know, you have your own value in your college. Like, you know, my good friend Taminini, if he takes a decision for the Department of English in LENDI, it's like the rule that everybody follows. Well, did he take a wise decision or wrong decision? Secondary, nobody discusses that. After implementation, there might be some problems. But will he be accounted for? Do we know he is accounted for? Will he come out and tell what, like asking the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, you met the Prime Minister of India, what did you discuss with the Prime Minister? The erstwhile government, did they tell what they spoke to the press? Did Chandrababu Naidu tell us, you know, this is what I spoke to the Prime Minister when I went to Delhi? No. But they want to know what Mr. Jagan Reddy is speaking to Modi. In the same way, I know this is a bad analogy that I'm drawing, but the press persons, as I said earlier, must have authentic, fair information, and they should have their own reporting sources, and based on it, they have to say, yes, this is authentic, and I stand by this. Then I got it hearsay, somebody told me, third eye told me. No, this I would very affirmatively say no, an enormous and big no. Okay, Mr. Vemuganti, but your question is excellent. I would say, you know, it rates as one of the moot points in National Law School of India University and many other law schools. Thank you. Very good question. I'm happy that I'm on a platform where I'm addressing very learned people. Thank you, Dr. Taminini and Vinay. Thank you.
Srinivas, we have Devyani Chaube waiting for a long time. Madam, so sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You can now talk to him. You can talk to him. Madam, are you ready? This is in fact Mr. Vempati. It's not Vemuganti.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He has corrected his name.
Oh, I always go with the surname, sir. Yeah, doctor. Yeah. Yeah.
So, thank you. We noted, sir. Guru Charan, sir. You are Mr. Vempati.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And we have Devyani Chaube. And then we can go with Srinivas. Maybe Srinivas Babu also raised his hand. Srinivas, sir, you can go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, very good morning, Srinivas Babu.
Good morning, sir. You have pointed out one important thing. The things are happening today because of the attitude of the journalist, not journalist. It's a nice quote. I feel very happy, sir, with this particular quote. But the thing is, my doubt is your presentation is very nice, and you have answered all the questions which were posed by the learned colleagues with illustrated examples of these things, sir. Do the journalists enter this particular field out of their choice or chance, sir? That's the main problem, what I can say that. Once upon a time, the people love it, that's why they join it and they try to do justification. Because there may be a manipulation from the side of the journalist, because we have been facing some problems with them in some of the incidents what we can see in the society. Why it is to be happened? Is there any remedy for that? At the same time, ours is a democratic country. Do we expect the things, each and everything should be done in a democratic way? We people say that by the people, for the people, to the people. Even learned people at the same once upon a time, there is no question of finding education from the side of the people. But today, each and every person is a literate. He knows each and everything. He's well acknowledged and well aware of the things. I don't want to say the persons, the people are innocent today. Everybody is acknowledged with the things, even though the things are happening. And Dr. Gurucharan has raised a very nice question. I appreciated him at this particular platform. So how can we expect justification for ordinary people? Even we see justification means we have to see the persons as human beings, not designation or some sort of portfolio or something like that. How can you expect a justification? And at the same time, regarding journalism, do the people enter this field out of their choice or chance? Everybody has to say, I'm a journalist. Okay, it is very privileged thing, but there is no question of justification regarding, you have mentioned wrong reporting, all these things. If somebody has to be a wrong report, automatically you can find a person, one who is innocent, that person will be punished without any kind of crime or sin or something like that. Thank you very much for your nice presentation, sir. Thank you very much to the people of LENDI for giving me a chance to interact with you.
Yeah, I'm answering your question. I presume you are also a doctorate, Srinivas Babu Garu.
Yeah, Srinivas Babu.
Yeah, Dr. Srinivas Babu. And Vempati, I'm really, I didn't know that you're Vemuganti. Now I know that you're Vempati. I know you. I know you're a young boy growing, your way up. But the question Dr. Srinivas Babu Garu has asked me, is it by choice or is it by passion? Okay. Yes, sir. There is Journalism School of India. There is a media school in Symbiosis. There are many media schools in and around Delhi, where by choice, these youngsters who have a lot of passion for the virtual media and for the reporting media. And, there is Delhi School of Journalism, and Uma and her husband Sudhir, they work for NDTV in Hyderabad. They report from Hyderabad. And they have, in fact, started, a journalism, platform for youngsters who want to be a one-day journalist or who want to take journalism. So after 10th standard, they're in a dicey situation. They want career counseling. They call for all the media experts, all experts in every field, including biochemistry, microbiology, biotechnology, doctors, everybody. They organize a very good event in Radisson Hotel. Uma Sudhir takes over, and KTR definitely makes his presence be felt on day 1, day 2, day 3. All 3 days he'll come because he's the one behind the street, the ideation and many hubs in Hyderabad, IT hubs. But all said and done, the journalists of today are coming with passion. Yeah, they are coming with passion. They love the subject they're doing, and they are definitely into it. But once you are in, see, let me tell you like this. My own brother is a qualified IRS officer, 1977 batch. So in 1977, when he underwent training and after the Bharat Darshan that they have, he was under the impression that he can make a difference in the revenue system and in the Ministry of Finance, Central Finance, and many other things, because he was reporting to Montek Singh Ahluwalia then, who was also the Deputy Planning Commission Chairman. And it so happened, the system has changed, my brother. You understood? I will not tell the system is spoiled or corrupt. I will not use any negative word because I'm not a person who looks at negative side of life. At the, I've lived half my age now. If God gives me 100 years, I'm already sitting on 49. So another 30 years, I see myself active. Last 10 years, I want to just enjoy my life. Okay. So I will not use any negative things, but the system itself, there are certain things that you have to toe the line. I guess you understand the word towing the line. We thought when Shashi Tharoor came into politics, oh my God, he's going to make a hell of a difference. When IRS officer Kejriwal came, we thought he would make a difference. Or Madam, IPS officer, when she came in Delhi on BJP ticket, we thought she'll make a difference. Is there a difference there? No. See, the system makes you function in the way the system wants. So how do you learn? Turn the page, learn the work. You turn the page. So how did the page was written? By your seniors, senior bureaucrats. So you say the old school IRS officers, the old school IAS officers. The old school IAS officers functioned under a colonial system. Okay, the colonial system always wanted what the good only they have done. Like I would take a quote, Dr. Srinivas Babu Garu, history is always written by the victorious and not the person who lost. There would have been fantastic warriors or fantastic, swordsmen or horsemen or cavalry people in the losing side also. Like, because Lendi is situated in the district of Vijayanagaram, I would say Tandra Paparedu was a fantastic warrior, but he was on the losing side. Okay, he was on the losing side. But can you discount his valor? No. In the same way, there are certain journalists who would want to make a difference, but unfortunately, the journalists we see when they're young, okay, as a young lawyer, I wanted to make a difference getting into the legal system. But once, I'll take my personal example of Srinivas Babu Garu, I'm telling you, because with a lot of passion, I got All India 11th rank. I pursued it from one of the best law schools in India. I wanted to make a difference in corporate law and do business and ethics run on the same platform. I was fighting those kind of issues in 89-93. Cut 1994, I enrolled as a lawyer, and then I got my first case of a tax violation, and the money was so enticing that I sold myself to the devil. Not myself, but my soul also I sold to the devil. The issue there was the money. For a young boy just starting his career, wanting to get into a 20 lakh car or 30 lakh car, it's better, they say, you cry in a Ferrari than crying in a city bus. So the passion, what happened? It took a back seat. It's still definitely there. I will not say it is not there. My passion for my subject law is still there. The passion for the journalism is still there. But these kids who made it as a choice and passion, they come, and the seniors tell them, bache, hum bhi aise hi aaye the. Even we came like this with lot of fire. But where was the dragon? The dragon fire is, doused. Completely doused, and it's become a dragon without teeth. So like they say in law, if the law lacks the potential teeth to bite, the future wrongdoer would be encouraged to commit a crime. The law should have the teeth to bite a potential wrongdoer. If not, it would encourage him to do. In the same way, the journalist comes with a lot of passion. By choice, he makes journalism as his career. Then suddenly somebody tells him, if you are good in the good books of so-and-so, so-and-so, your promotion ladder is very quick. You can grow. You can take the international desk at Copenhagen or Milan, or you can be head of Shenzhen countries, report from Germany, take Oslo head, take the desk of, Cyprus or Malta, or report from America, NDTV America, NDTV so-and-so place, or, Republic TV from Germany, Republic TV from Asia Pacific. You sit in Singapore, all expenses paid by the house. Is it not enticing? Where was your passion? You're compromised. And the next thing that you asked me is, there is a person who's an IAS officer. Say, for example, you're an IAS officer and you are the undersecretary for the temples in India. You go to Tirupati. The CEO comes with full protocol to you. You love it or you don't love it? Would you say, no, I don't want all this, I'll come like a commoner? Would the executive officer agree to it? Sir, please, sir, this is the protocol, sir. We'll go for a break darshan, sir, please, sir. So His Excellency, the President of India, the Prime Minister, the MLA of the local place, and the Undersecretary, you guys are the permanent officers, IAS are the permanent officers. So if he becomes Endowment Secretary, for every temple, he gets as if he is the Minister Endowment, because he has to forward their salaries, everything. They are not worried about the minister. They're worried only about who's the Endowment Undersecretary. The Undersecretary will definitely have a portfolio. So if he has a portfolio, the justification that he can enter the temple with all temple rights, including, that Purna Kumbham, as you say, they come with that and they tie a fantastic, turban around your head and take you with all the regale and the rigmarole, everything. And you are treated like you are the walking God, and they rever the ground that you walk on. There'll be some followers, there are sycophants. If you're an IS officer, you'll have these MROs and BROs and BAOs. They literally fall on your feet, sir, the way you walked, sir, the way you spoke, sir. All these are what they want to be in your good books. So as you said, choice, definitely yes. Passion, definitely yes. Manipulation by whom? By the seniors. Okay? Manipulation definitely by the seniors will definitely happen. It's not like, I didn't work in 3-4 places, or Dr. Kamineni didn't work in 3-4 places, or you didn't work in 3-4 places. You worked in 3-4 engineering colleges. Suddenly you found your footing in one college and your respect is there, and that the passion with which you want to work, the management is giving you the free hand. But at that same time, you'll get another offer from another college with more money. Now, what do you say? Enough of floating around. I floated around 3-4 colleges. Now, let me anchor myself in one college. Let me work on my passion. Well, one thing I can tell you, sir, you work on your passion, the money is small, but the happiness is more. He is a very happy man who can sit under the clear blue sky or at night and count the stars. Okay? Even if Alexander comes, you will not stand and say, hello, Mr. Alexander, because you're counting the stars. Okay? But passion will not get you money. But nowadays, kids are all fly by night. Snap a finger, you should have a Ferrari or a G-Cross or you want to go in a ghost, or you want to have the latest cell phone. So what happens? You compromise. You definitely do. But justification to the IAS officers, yes, protocol says so. If a chief minister of a state is traveling more than 250 kilometers, he has to take a flight. He can't go by road because the GAD, General Administrative Department, will have to expend a lot of taxpayers' money for his protection. All along, he should have DSPs, SPs, everybody talking on walkie-talkies. CM sir just crossed Ankapalli, CM sir crossed Lankelpalam, CM sir crossed Gajuwaka. All these people must wear everything and they should wait for morning before the flight lands at Vizag airport. That's a planned itinerary. Do you think the chief minister is not justified to get all this? Definitely yes. So will he say, I don't want all this? No. The chief minister only said, cut down on the swearing in cost. The swearing in ceremony that Mr. Babu Naidu spent was cut down by our Mr. Jagan Reddy. But he's expended 84 lakhs or something on the windows and the house that he's sitting in for protection. Okay, I never heard that kind of money being spent on protection of a person through the windows. I don't know what kind of windows they were. Are they gun-proof, bulletproof window panes or whatever? But all said and done, we all are passionate teachers. But somewhere, when the management says you're not doing the work up to our satisfaction, then we look out for how do I massage the ego of the management, get into the good books. So what happened to your passion? That 10% you've given a discount. Like they say in management, if you attend to 100,000 people and 1% are dissatisfied, that 1% makes 10,000. 10,000 people are dissatisfied if you go in for attending or massaging the egos of 1,000 people, 100,000. So when you're going for that kind of thing, there'll definitely be certain people who will not be happy with your passion or your choice. What happens to you? You'll have your family, your
Srinivas.
children, responsibility. Yeah, Srinivas Babu Garu.
Srinivas.
Yeah, doctor.
Yeah, Srinivas, both the Srinivases, both of you are very good friends of mine, and we are 11 minutes behind.
Away.
Delayed.
Yeah.
Sorry, behind.
Yeah.
Away. And we have one more question also to answer. Devyani Chaube, madam, are you waiting for a long time? Are you able to talk?
Sir, she has left a question
in
the chat box. Sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Still,
Why
she's raising her hand to talk.
Oh,
okay, Bob, continue.
Why do the VIP cases and the so-called reality cases from the glamour world get their decisions within 24 hours or immediately, whereas lakhs and lakhs of cases remain pending, getting dates after dates for hearing reality shows?
Oh, wonderful. Why is the celebrity cases being discussed on a priority basis? Yeah,
yes, sir.
The priority basis for the celebrities is predominantly people are interested in that. And the second thing is they say it becomes a landmark decision. So I can personally say one of my friend has been a lawyer for Suzanne Khan, Hrithik Roshan's wife. And as part of alimony, he had to cough up 400 crores for her maintenance and the two sons. And of course, lawyer gets his 40 crores, 10% of that money. His life is made. But that is on Google. Hrithik Roshan pays 400 crores to his wife on separation. Why is that case being discussed so high on divorce matters? Because he's a celebrity. And why do they get preference? Because for them, time is money. So they would hire the best lawyers, and those lawyers will put up a case in such a way before the judge that, this is on priority basis. So is law or the judges favoring the senior counsels who can strong arm themselves? Definitely yes. If a senior counsel is hired, see if I get a matter of importance and wherein huge money is involved, I'll hire a lawyer of standing in Supreme Court who take 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs as appearance fees. But imagine how much would I charge my client in Andhra Pradesh and the flight charges, everything. But he will get a decision within 1 year or 2 years because it's a celebrity lawyer representing him. A celebrity case is being discussed. There's a lot of soundbite going on. And the people interest is there. See, people want all these kind of small talks. Like they say, if there's no gossip, all men would die. It is not the woman who would die. The men would die if there's no gossip. Okay, and page 3 Everybody first looks at the page 3 and not the page, the editorial page of any newspaper. Who's there? What's happening? What's the social media talking about? I don't know why this craze for these kind of things, Dr. Chobe, but definitely, yes, celebrity cases are dealt on a priority basis. Reasons beyond the capacity of understanding of a normal person, but judges do prefer celebrity cases because they give mileage to their service record also, and it has become a landmark decision. Somewhere in Nirbhaya case, it became a landmark, but many other cases also where a celebrity was involved, it becomes a landmark, like Sarita paying her husband money to get custody of her 2 children. That's called as a Sarita law case in marriage law, in patrimony. First time alimony was not there and palimony came into being. A wife paying money to the husband. Okay. So because she was the earning member. So these kind of a landmark cases can come out is what the judges feel, the media feels, and the strong arm for a quick hearing of this case. And the system also, I don't know why they favor the celebrities more. In my personal opinion, as a lawyer for 26 years, your question is very much valid. Yes, they are given a platform. They're given a platform and it's put on a pedestal. Their case is definitely put on a pedestal. If the student of a college misbehaves in the class, it's not a big issue. But if the teacher misbehaves with the student, it becomes a social issue. It's put on the, social media. Kichakodu, misbehave chesina male faculty with some girls or with some boys. You can't even touch a boy or a girl nowadays, leave alone, talking. If it happens, well, the other colleges will take mileage. That college is very dangerous for girls, sir, because their faculty misbehaved with girls. And they want their own numbers to be filled up first. So what are we doing? We are just promoting a celebrity like this. Good or bad, famous or infamous. Like they say, Charles Sobraj always used to say, you love me, you hate me, you can't ignore me. And he became a sensation. He killed many people. Everybody knows Charles Sobraj, if you are a law student, or what kind of a notorious fellow he was. But, he used to talk like this. You love me, you hate me, you can't ignore me. Or Nixon, for that matter, the Watergate scandal of Richard Nixon. Or the infidelity case of Bill Clinton cheating on his wife with Monica Lewinsky. Do those kind of cases come in India where a politician had an affair with another lady? Well, no, there definitely these kind of cases not important in India. We want only sensationalizing of cases that are still pending disposal. And Dr. Devyani Chaubey, your question is very legit, I would say. Very legit. Legally, it holds a lot of water. It holds a lot of water. Why celebrities are given importance? Because of this. People want to know more about celebrities. Like British are called as POMEs, prisoners of Mother England. POMES are British nicknamed because they want to know what the Queen dress wore, what is her breakfast, who's Diana dating, why is Williamson or why a black lady has entered the palace. Why are they interested? I don't know. For reasons better known to the Britishers, that's why they're called as prisoners of Mother England. Clear? So Queen makes a difference.
Sir, Devyani Chaubey response, does that not convey wrong message to society where everybody is equal before law?
Wonderful.
We have rule of law in our constitution.
Yes, wonderful. Everybody is equal before the eye of law is in print, which I guess even she knows. Everybody is equal before the eye of law. But as a teacher, Madam Devyani, as a male teacher, a boy comes and asks us a doubt, he'll clarify. But if a girl comes and asks us a doubt, we will empathize with her and teach. I guess many of the male faculty on the platform would agree. If a girl comes, yeah, tell me, Intama, what is this? What is the doubt you have? A little extra step we go forward in clarifying that doubt. I don't know why, but that, parental or avuncular, as you say, uncle-like feeling in the faculty comes out. A boy asks, it's a genuine doubt. Come on, yeah, you can find it in Google, all this. The same applies here. Though it is a lesser intensity, but the higher intensity is the law is equal, everybody is equal before the eye of law, but there is a subject called as sovereign immunity. Sovereign immunity, like, a governor's bag cannot be checked in an airport. He need not go through the checking. A president need not. judges need not. If you see on the highways, there are many cars that are exempted from paying. There are 15 in that list. And unfortunately, in 2004 to 2014, Robert Vadra is also one of the guys who was exempted from paying toll tax because he is the first son-in-law of this country. Can you beat that, Dr. Chaubey? And there was a big hue and cry in the parliament regarding how Robert Vadra has got exemption from not paying, toll tax for his car. His name was there, His Excellency, His Holiness Dalai Lama. Along with them, in that so-called, revered list, Robert Vadra's name was also there. That was how strong-arming Sonia Gandhi could do with the help of a prime minister who we all know how good he spoke when he was in power. I guess you understand why they're given a pedestal, Madam.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Chaubey.
She just says that it is practiced in England and where we have borrowed this concept.
Yes, it is practiced in England. It is definitely, that's what I said. English Britishers are called as pommies, prisoners of Mother England. Their world starts with Queen and they end with Queen. So even now, if a Scottish man is given knighthood, he prefers going in a kilt. He wears a skirt, and the rule of the Buckingham Palace is the area above the skin above the socks should not be seen by the Queen. But what if he wears a kilt? His thighs, his knee, his entire calf muscle can be seen by the Queen. But he says, this is Scottish dress. This is our national dress. We still are fighting for a freedom from England. Britain occupied Scotland. Britain occupied Ireland. Britain occupied. They are not Britishers. They say we are Scottish. They are not Britishers. So they are not prisoners of Mother England. So they break the rule of the do's and don'ts when you enter the Buckingham Palace to take your knighthood. And when Sean Connery, the former Bond, is no more there, when he was honored with knighthood, they told him, wear the kilt and go. All the Scottish people, wear the kilt and go. Don't wear a full suit. And he abided by what his Scottish origins and ancestors told him, because he's proud being a Scotsman. Understood? Understood? Whoever
There's
is
one more
asking the
question,
question. Yeah.
from Devyani.
Okay.
Going beyond
Srinivas and Paul. Let me intervene. We'll take questions from Srinivas. From all the participants in the chat box, and we can collect and then we'll drop it to Srinivas. Now it is 11:20. We have next speaker waiting. His time is to start by 11 o'clock. Oh. I hope participants will accept this one. We also have the poll results. We take it forward. I think Florence, quickly, can you ask a question meanwhile while we are looking into polls? I can unmute, and then Srinivas also exit up early.
Yes, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Good morning, sir. I have a question that why are media channels backed by politicians?
Wonderful, ma'am. You should have your own mouthpiece. See, you can't talk for yourself. See, if you were...
Yes, sir. Since we are following the Sushant Singh Rajput case, people are talking that Republic is backed by the present government, BJP government. And since he is supporting them, they are going against the Sonia Gandhi government in Maharashtra. So I don't know how far this is true, because this comes under sub judice, and I don't know whether we can discuss this or not. Since this is an FDP, sincerely I wanted to ask you. And even these Telugu channels also, sir, each channel is backed by some or the other politician or political party. But they are saying the tagline, we report, you decide. So they are biased, their report is biased. How can we decide?
Madam, that's a good question. Every political party has their own mouthpiece as per se, or their press relation in charge or public relation officer. But whether or not Republic TV or Arnab Goswami is a henchman or part of the retinue of BJP party, I can't talk. I definitely refrain from, because it is a foregone conclusion. Many people are coming into their own conclusions about this paper is so and so political outfit. this channel is so-and-so political outfit. These are all, our conclusions about them. These are not the be-all and end-all, or this is not authentic per se. But on an FDP like this, because it's an FDP platform where we have to talk by the preponderance of evidence that is there, where he talks more for BJP and less about Congress, or more against Congress and less against BJP, we have come to a foregone conclusion that Arnab Goswami's Republic is favoring, or it wants to be in the good books of the corridors of power. The corridors of power are the ruling party. At the same time, NDTV is still fighting its own lone horse fight. And even CNN IBN is fighting its own fight. Arasdeep Sardesai is fighting against, BJP. There are many other people who are fighting against, and they forced Kapil Sibal to close his own news channel because of many other violations in media. I'm not going into the details of our news channels, mouthpieces of certain political parties, but by the way they come and talk to us, it's as if we come to a conclusion that Sakshi is equal to YSR CP, or TV5 is equal to TDP, or Enadu is equal to, what is that, TDP, or this is equal to so-and-so. It is only a foregone conclusion. We should not send this kind of information to the future lawmakers or future students who are going to be the citizens, and they will have to face a better tomorrow. Because at 18, if he does a mistake, he will finish his engineering and come out at 23, by which time, he can't correct that mistake he has done. So when I was 18, my father told me one thing: you choose your party and vote. But nowadays, many parents are telling them, because I raised you for 18 years, why don't you vote for a party of my interest? The dad is already done with 45 or 50 years of his life. The kid is 18. If he chooses a party of his father's choice, will that party help this kid when he's 23? Is employment being generated? Is the economic crisis being attended? Is the GST being properly addressed at? Or is the sharing of money there? Or are jobs being created? Or did Uri war really happen? Or did the surgical strikes take place? These are all questions that we can raise. Is the lockdown properly handled by this government? Can you talk all this against BJP now? You'll be gagged, or there'll be a special case filed against you and arrested. So they'll strong arm you. But we all know that economic crisis is there. The farmers' bill is pro-corporate, okay? And the GST is being badly handled. There are no jobs that are being generated. And this man is only egocentric, and he wants to do the way he wants to do. He's got decision for him with regards to Ram Temple. He's got decision for him regarding, Article 377, 497, Women Bill. Many things he's getting it because of the strength of numbers. He is doing all this for the next election. He is not an industrialist, man. He's a politician. Politicians look for the next elections, and industrialists look for the next generation. I guess people like Tatas, all these must enter politics if they want to make a difference. But I guess he's 89 or 88 and he's had his time under the sun. So people like that should come. But there would be executive heads, like how Abdul Kalam, made a difference being His Excellency President of India. I would say somebody like Infosys head should come, and he should become, some president of India. Maybe they'll make a difference in the digital platform, but not change the face of India overnight, because we still love our villages. We still love our being, ignorant and illiterate and waiting for shops to come, and without working, money to be fallen into our accounts. So can you go against this? No. Are channels going against this? No. They're addressing this with a lot of pomp and show, only because, that gets them mileage. That gets them the good books of the ruling government. So never ever talk against the corridors of power. If you're talking against the corridors of power, Madam Florence, I guess you're in a cesspool and you can't come out of that pool. That's a whirlpool that will suck you in with all its force. It will be like, the Bermuda Triangle. So it's better we stand on the banks and watch the fun and tell our students, please don't, talk certain things that are sub judice. And what are they? I'll definitely send a hard copy of all that I've done. I already put up yesterday because I wanted to discuss these things today. I'll definitely send a hard copy to Dr. Tamineni and through Vinay. And
great. That can be circulated.
Definitely, sir. I profoundly thank Vinay for coordinating, Tamineni Garu for giving the opportunity. Madam Chaube, your question is very, very legit. Srinivas Babu Garu, I enormously say yes to certain things that you asked me. Dr. Ahmad, you're fantastic in the question of insight. And the others who asked me questions, Vinay, your question also is very good. But I never knew Michael was so learned in media and the thing. I guess Haribabu should get a pat on his back for molding you into a fantastic. Like they say, Michelangelo said, there is always a statue inside this rock. All it did is just polish off the rough edges. So you have become almost a statue. Yes. Polish yourself, Vinay, under the able tutelage and guidance of Dr. Tamineni. I thank LENDI. Sorry, I overshot by half an hour, but it was a very lively session for me. And I had to gather all my learning to answer questions of Srinivas Babu Garu, then Devayani Garu. And I correct myself, Dr. Vempati also. And Madam Florence, I guess, yes, you have to have certain people to talk for you. And I guess the press is being used by the politicians to talk for their achievements and a little more than what their achievements are. So that, people will vote them back to power 5 years later. I guess I'll stop here. Any more doubts?
This is awesome at the end. Always a journey with Srinivas is a odyssey for me. I always have the similar kind of experience even now too. Either it is a classroom or it is an FDP or a training session. Always he forgets the time and he forgets his surroundings and he engrosses into all his thought, action. This is ever widening with him. Thank you very much, Srinivas, for all your love, affection, and then your, though you have less hair, it is gray hair.
No issue.
And then
cutting into you, really, your famous Robert Frost. I guess you can end this session with your famous Robert Frost line. The woods are, you say something always. The woods are lovely.
Yeah, lovely, dark and the woods are lovely, dark and deep. But we have promises to keep, miles to go before we sleep. Okay.
Yes.
So
yes,
this is a fantastic journey that we had. We both run the show like anything, and I hope the hold of participants could have understood very well all your ability, expertise, and at the end you also have left wonderful advice. All that is taken. Srinivas, we see you soon, and the polls results and then your talks, feedback, everything can be shared with you, and we'll be happy to see you somewhere by next month in some other session. With this, we'll give you a big thanks, and then we'll await eagerly Mr. B. Sashidhar from Saudi Arabia, waiting for his talk to make here. And I request Srinivas to happily give the floor back to us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Vinay. God bless us all.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
We'll come out safe from this. Yeah, the vaccine is almost ready.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.